Alan Johnson from the Columbus Dispatch, ALAN Johnson. Media witnesses arrived in the death house about 10:21. Victim witnesses came in a couple minutes later, and the inmate witnesses shortly after that. Monitors for the IV insertion went on at 10:27, and they began the IV preparation, which took about 7 minutes, I think. Maybe 8 minutes, 7 or 8 minutes, which is actually, with my experience, pretty fast. Sometimes they take much longer. There was a little blood from either side of the IV insertion, but they seem to have relatively little, if any, trouble getting the IVs in, which, as you know, has been a problem with some executions. So by 10:35, they were done with the IV insertions, and the inmate was helped up off of the table in the holding cell, took the 17 steps to the death chamber. He was strapped down. He did not look, I did not see him look at any of the witnesses, including his attorney or spiritual advisor. I could have missed that, but I didn't see him look either way. He was pretty much straight up at the ceiling. They attached the IVs in the execution chamber, and then the IVs began, chemicals began flowing. I would say, they asked if he wanted to make a statement, and he said no, shook his head very slightly. That was it. No other words that I could see or expressions, nothing. Then the chemicals began flowing, and within 3 minutes, I couldn't see breathing signs. So I didn't really know how quickly that happened, but it seemed very quickly. His eyes were closed at 10:42. I couldn't see any movement at 10:43 and thereafter. About 10:47, a technician came out with a mask on and in scrubs with a stethoscope, checked for heart sounds. Apparently didn't hear any. They closed the curtain, which seemed to be closed an unusually long time. Time is exaggerated in the death house. It was probably only 2 minutes, but it seemed longer. And then when they opened it up, they announced the time of death at 10:49 a.m.
Thompson, my sister. As sad as this may be, and it's very sad, justice has been served, and I just hope that this is a lesson for the young children today, that they will learn not to do what Mark Brown did to my brother.
What was the picture that you were holding in the...
Sorry. Thank you.
We have been informed that the inmates' representatives will not be coming over. So at this time, this concludes our briefing. I will take some brief questions afterwards from you if you have them. On those issues, I can't answer.
Seems like I know time is magnified in there, but seems like it usually is like a minute. It seems considerably longer than that. Any reason you know of?
No, there's nothing noted. The timeline notes that the curtain closed at 10:48 a.m. The physician entered the chamber supposed to be about 25 seconds later, exited the chamber at 10:49:52, and then the curtain was reopened approximately 10 to 20 seconds. So there was nothing remarkable, no reason. I can tell you that from the time the first syringe started until the time of death was 9 minutes. The first syringe began at 10:40 a.m. and the time of death, as you know, was 10:49 a.m.
Did you have any indication whether he was going to give a statement?
No, he had made no comment ahead of time. He had not remarked on it. This execution was carried out professionally and in accordance with the laws of the state of Ohio. It went as well as what we expected it to go.
Is 9 minutes sort of the average for the new one drug protocol?
The 3 executions that have been carried out under the one drug lethal injection protocol have taken either 8 or 9 minutes from the start of the first drug until the time of death. So yes, this is right in line with the previous 2 executions.
How does it compare with the market? Is it shorter? Or?
It's very comparable. The 3-drug lethal injection protocol may have taken a few minutes longer because there's that saline flush in between the 3 drugs. but it's very comparable. I will say this is not a race. We're not trying to get this done in any certain amount of time. We're going to carry out our responsibilities under the law professionally and with dignity, and that is our main goal, and in the time and the amount of time it takes to carry out the execution in the manner in which we expect it to be carried out.